This afternoon I was thinking of starting with silent sitting for however long it feels good. And then after that, Lama Carl is going to address some questions. I also have one question here, so we'll just take it from there then, this afternoon session. So, yoginis and yogis, straighten your spine. So it's fourth day of this retreat. Already we have passed the midpoint of the retreat. So, well, at least it should be clearer than when we arrived. I'll give you a simple little pointer. Quite effective. So, our confusion is in our aura, stored as karmic traits in our aura. So this energetic space of our body and aura is marked by samsara. But the body outside of it has no traits, has no karmic files. So open for that larger body bigger than your aura, and kind of just welcome it into your aura. welcoming, being open, receptive for the space outside the aura, from the head, feeling the connection of the head with the space outside the aura, in the upper part of the aura. Same way, throat and chest level, shoulders, connecting down the arms. And like this, connecting the whole body. Same thing, 360 degrees around you, on the side, in front, other side, back, below, back, above, front. Let's continue the practice. On the first day, I was talking about, we were workshopping on thoughts and emotional states and how to let the kids into the sandbox, as you can remember. So I will include in this practice that we are doing the following question. Rinpoche, can you revisit your talk about spiritual bypassing, dealing with strong emotions, and the use of the bubble? I have a lot of anger coming up on this retreat, and at times it is like a big wave of seawater flooding the peaceful scene behind the sea wall. A lot of anger. Anger and strong emotions. So keep sitting. Let's workshop on this. Okay, how does it feel right now? Check how you feel. If the experience of natural state is not perfect, even if it's not complete, that even if there's some samsaric karmic energetic feel there, that's okay. As long as you have that, as long as you can check boxes with all three basic characteristics of the natural state, which by now you should remember those three. So first, always recognition of the natural state, whether you can instantly access it without doing anything, if you need dynamic concentration through different mantras, physical dynamic concentration, use when needed, or semjins. On the first day of the retreat, we were imagining what was it? Anger, restlessness, and self-pity. But these were kind of neutral laboratory conditions. When, should I say, real anger of real life comes up, then it's serious. We can kind of spar and get some sense, get the basic understanding of the practice right with that workshop, but then when we really get pissed off and angry. So it's like a several notches more serious. So as you are sitting there, think of some strong emotion you've had, if not during this retreat, then during the past week. I'm sure we all got pissed off about something. Bring it back into your mind. Put yourself back into that situation, that position, that moment. Remember how you reacted. Remember how the strong emotion, whether it was anger or anxiety or whatever, how it came about. Or if you all of a sudden just found yourself in this strong emotion. So when I'm sitting here and saying that when you're having strong emotion, it sounds very neutral, a flat, right? But we are talking about when we are having a strong emotion, we are talking about pointing fingers at other people and showing middle fingers and saying fucks and shits and bullshits and bastards and everything. So I'm not talking about a flat experience. I'm talking about the real strong emotion that we have and real reactions. So one thing that in this question there was a concern about spiritual bypassing, which is a really good concern. It's healthy from the point of view of Western psychology. It's healthy to understand that we human beings have emotions. If we look at spiritual teachings, where spiritual bypassing is, in the spiritual scene, it's very common. We might get a sense that, well, emotions are not allowed, or that they are a bad thing, and that we shouldn't have them. That you are just in this perfect awareness, natural state where it's always neutral and sun is shining, and there's no negativity there. But this is not realistic view. So just wanted to say that emotions are okay, and us who are human beings from the point of view of Buddhist teachings, samsaric human beings, it's natural to have emotions. And it's also important to understand that even when the self-charge is released from emotions, we do not become emotionless. We do not become like that flat, neutral, whatever you call that. We still have emotions, but the experience and expression of them does not have that limited sense of meanness there. Like world is full of colors and shapes and forms and expressions and arts and gazillion different things. In the same way, we don't become flat emotionally. Colors and ornaments are a good thing. We just need to understand their nature for us not to be confused about them. So you're sitting there and you're remembering being pissed off, angry, anxious, having a panic attack, being greedy, something like that. So spiritual bypassing means that you push it away. You're not willing to admit that it's happening. You're pretending that it's not there, or even pushing it away. This is a mistake. This will not lead to advancement in Buddhist meditation. And in fact, consider it in any way from the point of view of Western psychology, Buddhist meditation, other forms of spirituality, they'll say the same thing. We won't come to wholeness as human beings if we bypass our emotions. So, now you have this emotion, and it's sort of like having depending, it's a different. If it's anger, then it's sort of like having a angry dog in the room. It's fiery. Or if it's strong fear, then the the energetic feel of it, the flavor of it is different. But same with anger or fear or any other greed, any other of these mind states, emotions, is that they have the same flavor of self. It's sort of like well, it's not a perfect analogy, but nowadays they put sugar into all kinds of foods in grocery store. It's sort of like having that unhealthy sugar in everything. That sugar of self in all of these mental states. So, first, acknowledge that it's there. This is really happening to me. And this anger, fear, whatever, it's coming from my own storage. And understand that to reveal all this stuff, to reveal whatever is in my storage, is the purpose of the practice. And then, in that case, if you have already identified with the emotion, you're already yelling shits and fucks and showing middle fingers and, kicking, knocking off, flower vases or, chairs, then you simply, as soon as you realize that, you simply start becoming aware of it, what happened. It's an organic process because our body-mind is organic. So we won't become masters overnight. We won't become masters of our emotions and energies overnight. So it requires diligence and commitment in the long run. But when we have already identified with that emotion, then we simply admit this is happening and, meet with that angry dog or scared, fearful child within us. And then you start applying those simple vipassana guidelines that I was talking about on the first day. What's the feel of it? What's the energy of it? What's the shape of it? What's the form of it? What's the feel of it? Where is it located? Get a sense of it. And at this point, you have already objectified it because you are looking at it as something. Then it has turned to an object instead of the emotional state. It no longer takes the place of the subject where you have identified with it. So, at this point, classic vipassana, or actually Laktong from the point of view of Vajrayana Vipassana. So from the recognition of the natural state, knowing what the shape, form, color, feel of this emotion is, then giving your body to it. Just like we welcome the space outside our aura into our body, into our physical body, energy body, in the same way, welcoming this angry dog or fearful child or greediness, desire, hope, fear. And then you let it do. Whatever the kids want to do in the sandbox is totally fine. So we give this body, our mind, to these Demons and beasts, scareful beings, hungry ghosts. In our own subconscious mind, we give this body to them, and that's exactly what they want. Like I was saying a few days before, it says in the song, all we need is love. And in the context of yogic practice, this means that when we give space and our attention, our body, to these self-entities in our mind stream, that's how they become satisfied. Just like children become satisfied playing in the sandbox. And when we are working with real samsaric emotions, real samsaric demons of our own mind, it might make us, nervous. I have so much anger, so much rage, heart starts beating faster in a nervous way for a moment. We might hyperventilate, get scared of our anger, get even more scared of facing our panic attacks. This is also completely natural. This process has been gone through by countless practitioners, male and female, in many cultures, in many places of the world. So what we are experiencing is never unique. Never. Has been done countless times. So even when, there really is, in that sense, there really is nothing special to us, to our attainments, whatever they may be, or our difficulties. So if we have a nervous reaction over having so negative or dark or horrible thoughts and emotions and stuff, don't worry. People have done it already. Don't worry. All beings, including me and you, have Buddha nature. Unborn, undying, our very basic us, our very basic me. Our true being. Have confidence in that. Understand that, you have this Buddha nature and nothing or nobody can take it away. It is only our own confusion that can hide it. That can make it seem that we are fucked. But this is just temporary dirt, temporary clouds, clouding it. And through practice, like countless generations before us have done, we are sorting it out samsara and nirvana, confused state and liberated state, and integrating them both, joining them both. And this joining of samsara and nirvana means that what I was briefly mentioning, it means that the sameness of liberated state and confused state. In the Heart Sutra, it is said that form is emptiness, emptiness is form. So all these mind forms, all these emotional states, mental states, thoughts, reactions, in their samsaric mode are charged with a sense of self, and it makes us suffer. So the first phrase, form is emptiness, means that we start looking into form and see through vipassana that it is empty, that there is no solid entity there that would last. And then, when we are talking about joining of or realizing the sameness, same taste of samsara and nirvana, it simply means that, when we advance in vipassana practice, what happens is that we release that sense of self from mental and emotional states. When we keep seeing through it, which is what literally vipassana means, there is this liberation of all these mental patterns and habits. But then it doesn't mean that thoughts and emotional states disappear. We don't end up in a flat, neutral place where nothing happens. And that's what the second phrase, emptiness is form, means, that all these thoughts and emotions are not something like that they are actually the embodiment and expression of the natural state. That they are not the enemy, although at first they seem as the enemy. So thoughts and emotions become expression of the natural state of our true condition. Sort of like, we are not, this is like just a plain room in this venue we are renting. But also in this room you can see some decorations. These lamps and the ceiling, on the walls, curtains. Maybe if we went to a church, Christian church or a Buddhist temple, we would see a lot more decorations, ornaments. And thoughts and emotions are exactly like that. When we see into their emptiness, then they become the embodiment of the natural state. Sit on that for 1 or 2 minutes and then I will pass it to Carl.